Welcome to CivilNet. My guest today is Anthony Barsamian, who is an attorney from Massachusetts with involvement in Armenia in all sorts of ways. Anthony, welcome to Armenia. Welcome to CivilNet. Anthony, you're an attorney. You are involved in a bunch of private sector projects in Armenia, a bunch of public sector projects in Armenia. And what I want to do is just talk for a little bit as part of what we've come to call this Diaspora Conversation, to talk about not just what you do and why you do it, but also about how it's evolved over the years of your involvement. You're involved with the Armenia Tree Project. You're an attorney. You're involved with the investors, the Marriott Hotel. You're involved with the Armenian Assembly. What have I left out?
I think that's a good start.
Okay. And these are all long-term engagements. This didn't happen yesterday, any of them. How has that sort of engagement changed over the years?
I think when we first came to Armenia, it was, you know, I always tell people, our grandparents came to Armenia and the first thing they did is, you know, kiss the ground when they got here. They didn't care that it was communist or it's capitalist or whatever. This is the place that was Armenia. So that's the lesson we had when we came. So now we come to Armenia, but we're engaged. We're not guests here anymore. We're part of it. So I'm excited and honored to be involved in the Marriott Hotel project here, the tree project which plants trees in Armenia, the Armenian Assembly who started an array of projects bringing people to Armenia so they could discover. We started the NGO training center here, and now NGOs are all over the place. They don't need diasporans to do that anymore. So that's the evolution. Armenia is taking control of itself and leading itself, and we are there to help, but it's really Armenia for Armenians. They have to take care of themselves in their country, and we're there to help if we can.
If I put my Armenia hat on, I would say that's not enough. I would say that because there's know-how in the diaspora, because there's not the same levels of dependence on government support, job strings, and all of that, that the diaspora needs to be engaged in a much more sustained way in Armenia. My diaspora hat says that's not going to happen because I have day-to-day concerns, and Armenia is probably not among them.
I think you're right. I think in Armenia, the concern, it's a luxury for us because we come here, we turn it on, and then we go home. But the difference I see is we started a hotel project here. The next step would be to start a hospitality school here and have a top rate. So we have to look at Armenia and say, how do we make it the best it can be while maintaining its values? Armenia is a special place. It has a way of doing its life here. Armenia should not change that. It shouldn't change that for the West. It shouldn't change that for any other countries, for Russia, for America, for Europe. It is its own place. It has to take control of its destiny and lead itself. We're there to help Armenia. We're like the relatives that come and do the best we can. But it's still, the home is still Armenia. The people who live here, this is their home. Even though we come, we're related, but it's their home. So I think our approach has always been non-interference in government. A lot of people, we hear a lot about pros and cons. That's not our job. Our job is to make it the best it can be with the resources that we bring, and hopefully not to take out any resources. The one thing that really concerns me is the Armenia Tree Project tries to build resources, your water, your trees, your natural resources, your village life. We want to maintain those things, and we don't want to change those things here.
It's possible to say that who the diaspora Armenian is has changed. It used to be that for the diaspora Armenian, you were, like Kirk Kerkorian or like William Saroyan or like, I don't know, who else. Now, the diaspora Armenian says, yeah, I'm Armenian, there's this country, Armenia, it's way over there, a bunch of miles away. And how this country is perceived is going to define how that diasporan is perceived. If this is considered, you know, a failed state, third world, off there nowhere, then that's, you want to say you're Armenian and associated with that? Is that, what's the word I want? Something that will light the fire for deeper engagement?
I don't think we, or myself, I'll speak for myself, I don't think we look at Armenia as anything but what it is. So I'm bringing a group of 30 young people this week to do a fuller project build. I'll be excited to see how they view Armenia. I think Armenians put too much on diasporans on how they don't bring a lot of baggage. Our children are third and fourth generation. So when they come with a very open platform thought on Armenia. They're not looking for expectations. It's a different world now. The next generation is really where the future of Armenia is, because they don't have a lot of expectations of the country. They come here, they experience it. I was in this new place yesterday called the Green Bean Cafe, and I was so excited by the people there. It's a very dynamic, very young. It could have been New York City. It could have been Tokyo.
And every table, somebody's got some interesting project there.
Exactly, and that's the kind of experience I think we appreciate about Armenia. It's, you know, there are Syrian Armenians now, there are Lebanese Armenians, there are American Armenians, there are Russian Armenians. I think we of the maybe a little older generation have a little more baggage, where the younger generations don't have that baggage.
What can we in Armenia do to make those links not just 2 weeks a year? What is it from the information perspective, from the access perspective? What can we do in Armenia?
You know, Vartan Gregorian said to me, which was a great line, he says, we have to teach our children to be good ancestors. That means we have to be good ancestors. So whatever we do in Armenia...
What a great line.
I think that's one of the best. I keep that with me because it is a fantastic line. If you're a good ancestor, then everything you do revolves around how you approach life and how you impact those around you. So I want to be a good ancestor to my children, to my grandchildren, and to generations. But it's a long-term look. It's not a short-term look. I think a lot of people are concerned that Armenians and Armenia lives day to day. We need to take a much longer term look at the country and see how we can all collectively, Armenians from Armenia and Armenians outside of Armenia, look at this country.
Your private sector engagement is the Marriott Hotel, which has a group of Armenian owners and made the Marriott the first name hotel in the hospitality business here in Armenia. What lessons learned? What would you do again, better, differently?
The Marriott, so we're celebrating our 10th anniversary this weekend. The Marriott is an excellent project here in that it teaches the staff and those of us who come to Armenia that you really can deliver the best in Armenia. So the thrill for us is when people stay there and they leave and they say, that Marriott is as good as the Dubai Marriott, is as good as the New York Marriott, as good as the San Francisco Marriott. That's the experience we want.
It's better than the San Francisco Marriott.
Good to hear.
Take it from me.
So really what we're teaching is to be excellent. And anything we do in Armenia, we should try to strive for excellence. And that is what is the success of Armenians around the world. No matter where you go, what they do is hopefully as best as they can do it, and usually better than what others are doing. And even though we are in the world community, we're part of the world community, we try to do things unique because we have specific values that are Armenian values, and we think those values help to shape a person, whether it's our faith, whether it's our work ethic, whether it's our family and the way we interact with each other. We believe in the values that we espouse, and we take that to our various countries and hopefully implement them there.
Thank you.
Nice speaking with you.
Thank you. We've been speaking with Anthony Barsamian from Massachusetts, an attorney involved in various projects in Armenia, private and public. And thank you for following us on CivilNet.